Welcome back to your favorite comedy finance channel. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I hope you guys have been missing me. I have been missing you guys. So, I wanted to give you an emergency update because bears are absolutely wrecked, annihilated, savagely beaten. There is no ifs, ands, or asses. You are wrecked, and you will continue to be wrecked the more you do not buy these dips. I'll be really honest with you guys. I don't think MYC Odd App is tired of winning ever. I really don't think so because all of the positions that we have been talking about over the past 6 months are all between 1 to 3x and above, stabilized and rising. So, how does it feel to be prepared? And how does it feel to be an investor and purchasing assets when everyone is afraid, when the mainstream narrative is, the sentiment was bearish? But when you took a look at the data and when you took a look at where we are when it comes to the not only the crypto cycle, but when you take a look at the dollar and what's happening economically, it screams bullish. It screams that we're in the midst of a brand new bull cycle. And a lot of people continuously look at these token prices as if they're too expensive. Well, I got really bad news for you guys. It's going to get more expensive because the Fed has already told you that they're projecting higher inflation. Not only that, everyone is anticipating a recession. And recessions are a variety of different things that all come down to defaults that are all defaults against US dollar debt. Whether you take a look at it from the public sector, i.e., the government, or you look at it from the private sector, it is bearish on the dollar. So if debt, US debt, more importantly, is all running towards debt default, they are either going to have a catastrophic dollar collapse or they're going to expand the balance sheet. And I'll go over exactly the reasons why I know in 6 months they're going to do it again. And the reason why, it's really easy. If you weren't paying attention, but Jerome Powell himself not only shit his pants during the last meeting, but he also told Congress directly that he is in no way, shape, or form in any sort of way, involved in policy, but they will regret if they don't expand the balance sheet in 6 months. So no matter what we do, no matter what we say, inflation is the projection. In fact, when you have $31 trillion worth of debt, not only that, but US dollar debt, okay, that means that the only way this government is going to be able to pay off that debt, mind you, tax revenue does not supersede that debt coming in, okay? Tax revenue is not paying for the debt that we have. So the only way this government is going to be able to pay massive amounts of the debt deficit off is through inflation, because inflation is the way governments pay off their debt at the expense of the American citizen. Okay. So they're going to be able to get off the hook, but you're going to be the one on the hook paying shadow tax called inflation. And that inflation is going to make cost of living go up. But unfortunately, it's going to make asset prices go up because your dollar value is dwindling. In fact, just a year ago, the US dollar was about 114. And as we sit today, I believe we're at 103.58 on an uptrend. And mind you, I don't think it's going to last for very long. And the reason being is because central banks around the world are, they have to defend their currencies that they represent. Whatever country they represent, they need to defend the currency. So in order to defend their currencies, they have to dump US dollars or dump US dollar bonds in order to liquidity transfer that over to their currencies to prop it up against the weight of the dollar. Okay. And I understand that the mainstream media consistently says, oh, inflation is going up. Inflation's going up. Well, to be honest with you, inflation in the markets is going down because we have a deflationary dollar that's not going to be at this buying price for very long. In fact, the buying value right now on the US dollar is at 103.58. But do not get comfortable, Americans. Do not get comfortable, US dollar holders. Your exchange rate is very powerful right now, but not for long because you have recession. You have US debt in default, okay? Whether you look at it from the public sector or if you take a look at it from the private sector, you have US dollar debt defaults happening, which are continuous blows against the US dollar. Not only that, you have bond investors looking at the rate for their bond, okay? The yield is 3 to 4%. If the yield is 3 to 4% and inflation rate is 6% and higher, and they're anticipating higher inflation as we go forward, not only that, you have Jerome telling you he's going to expand the balance sheet in approximately 5 months. He told Congress directly that they need to lift the debt limit, lift the credit card limit, as in they need to print more money. I don't know how transparent Jerome Bowles could be for bears to wake up that you missed. You missed the bottoms and it's not coming back. In fact, I'm very bullish as we go forward because every day we are marching closer and closer to 2024, which is Bitcoin halving. And mind you, the effects of Bitcoin halving are going to take place mid 2024, which means the peaks of the bull cycle will probably be mid to late 2025. Now, here's another thing that you need to understand. The prices that you are seeing today are so goddamn cheap compared to what they will be later on in the future because we are going into permanent high inflation, and the inflation will only get worse as time progresses. If you guys didn't notice, central banks around the world are already talking about and pitching and proposing timed programmable money called CBDCs. And when you have timed programmable money, that means they don't want you to save money, because if you are able to save money, then your asset, your money, or your programmable money would actually appreciate in value due to the projected inflation that's coming in the future. So they put a time limit on your money so you can't do those things. In fact, for those of you left in the future that will own something, okay, you will be given a new wealth tax. And everything they're talking about in regards to programmable money is exactly what they are talking about with wealth tax, okay? So if you are one of our internationals, I don't know, anybody from Spain or anybody from any of these other countries that have a wealth tax, it's coming to every country near you also. So, you know, these are just certain things that I could see plain as day, that inflation is going to continuously rise, and assets and asset prices are going to continuously rise as well. I know. You know, more and more I hear about inflation, the more I myself want to scream as well. I mean, it's actually very spooky. So, you know, guys, look, don't forget, I don't have commercials. I'm always live. I'm always fluent. It's nonstop, no commercials, no nothing. Okay, guys, it's straight financial literacy. So do me a huge favor and press the like button for me. Press the like button for us. That way we can get this message as far and wide as possible. Okay, guys? So let's get right into it. Okay, so another thing I wanted to talk about was, you know, I noticed that, you know, the SEC is starting to crack down on centralized exchanges and staking abilities. And, you know, to be honest with you, the more and more I learned about what was going on or why people felt like this was bearish, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I couldn't believe that mainstream narrative or mainstream personalities were actually propagating that this was also bearish. I was like, hold up. You guys are supposed to be crypto reporters or crypto news reporters, and you're consistently talking about every which way reason as to why this is the biggest sales pitch in international history for why crypto is needed. Crypto is needed for corruption. Crypto is needed to fight tyrannical governments. Crypto is needed to fight tyranny. So when you take a look at all the nonsense that was going on, it was actually bullish for a variety of old picks that we know of or picks that we're bullish on now. I was actually thinking about Hex the other day more than anything because of this scenario going on. So I was like, this is actually a bullish scenario for Hex because it's DeFi and you don't need anybody to stake. In fact, who on earth would stake on a centralized exchange? Who on earth is staking on these exchanges? And I know a lot of you guys are. I know some, I mean, look, first of all, you shouldn't be staking on centralized exchanges. You can actually stake on a variety of different mechanisms out there, like Hex or like Bluezil BLZ, which is now available on Kepler. You could actually stake your Bluezil with osmosis. Guys, everything is coming into fruition now for staking, and you don't need exchanges to stake. You can actually stake off your DeFi wallets. You could do it on MetaMask. You could do it on Frontier wallet with a variety of other coins. There's also another wallet called Moonstake. There's a lot of other mechanisms where you could stake your crypto and still earn interest. Keep in mind, if you're new to crypto, you have to understand that interest is paid out in tokens. Okay, it's not you're getting paid out in cash, you're getting paid out in tokens. See, typically staker tokens have an inflation rate because the mechanism allows the smart contract to print more tokens to reward the users. Okay, now there is a catch-22 to all this. However, when you're in a bear cycle, I'm not as scared as I used to be staking coins because we're at the bottom of the market. Typically when you're staking anything, I always have a strategy accordingly to what I'm staking. Because when I'm staking something, I want to make sure that I'm safe based on the volatility of the coin itself. So whenever I'm staking, I want to time it out. I want to time it out right. I want to time my unstaking period out. And also I want to make sure I'm getting a bottom, because it would be a terrible thing to stake something at the top and you have a lock-in period and you can't get out. So those are just certain things that you have to pay attention to based on whatever coin you're looking at. Another coin that I felt was bullish over this occasion was DYP. That's another one that I was taking a look at. Very, very small cap. But again, this is all going back to why the markets are actually bullish for this scenario that's going on. So don't pay attention to the mainstream narrative of why the markets are bearish because of regulations. I have a crazy secret to tell you guys. Crazy secret, okay? Scalability has nothing to do with regulations. In fact, I'm going to say this one more time for you guys, okay? I hope you guys make it go viral. Scalability has nothing to do with regulations, because I've seen coins scale to high heaven, and it had nothing to do with institutions. It had nothing to do with anything other than the fact was high use case. You had the right tokenomics, you had the right circulation. There was just the right everything for that coin to scale. Guys, did it take regulations for a lot of these coins to get to where they needed to be? No, absolutely not. So when I look at all these bearish sentiments or reasons as to why the market might be bearish right now, it's just a complete fake out to me. And again, look, everyone has their own bet to make. I don't want you guys to take this video as financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not one either. But at the same time, we all have our own bets to make. And to be honest with you, based on where we are, based on the narrative, based on the dollar, based on the debt, based on everything that I see before us, we are in bullish territory. And this is me telling you that the forecast that we have talked about well over a year ago now, that it is happening literally before your eyes. And financial forecasts, they do happen over a course of time. They don't see, bull cycles are not a 3 or 4 month period. Okay. A bull cycle happens over a course of a couple years or so. Okay. And we just went through roughly 1.3 years of a bear cycle. Typically, they want you to go through 1.6 or let's say a year and a half of a bear cycle before you're at the bottom end of a bull cycle. And again, if you guys haven't noticed, a reversal is in place. Now, a lot of people sit there and say, oh, no, it's just it's a bull trap and yada, yada, yada. Unfortunately, it could be if you're a Bitcoin buyer, but I'm not a Bitcoin buyer. I am buying things that I can make real multipliers on. So because I was collecting altcoins 6 months ago with the Bitcoin dominance, roughly between lower 30%, 35%, at this point for Bitcoin price, whether she pumps or bleeds, it really doesn't matter. In fact, It so doesn't matter that all of my entries are at 1 to 3x my entries, and I'm literally coasting from here. I'm perfectly fine. So regardless if Bitcoin goes up, if it goes down, my bottoms are sealed. Let's take a look at some of the bottoms that we've already called, right? Let's take a look. Let's just take a look at where we are as a community and laugh at all the bears that had their hands right under their ass and they just got rugged. Bears will be buying rope at 1,000x within a month. I'll tell you that right now. So let's just go ahead and just go over a few of them. Arcblock, first entry was 9 cents. We are now at a stabilized 15 cents, and it is a big bull flag. If you take a look at the graph, it is ready to explode. And that's 186 million coin cap. Let's take a look at Jasmine. First entry was 0.0029. We are now at a stabilized 0.0060. Let's take a look at Parsec. Parsec, I was collecting at about 8 cents. We went up to about 26 cents. I have not taken any profit. There's no reason for me to take profit during this time. I'm not doing none of that shit. I'm going to be stacking up, and I'm going to go for my double-digit to triple-digit multipliers while plebs weep. So let's take a look. Parsec was 8 cents. It is right now stabilized at a 16 cent on an uptrend, and it is probably going to go right past Uranus to 35 cents this next leg up. Let's take a look at another one, shall we? Bluezo BLZ, bottom was 6 cents. Let's take a look at this. I won't give myself full credit on this because we were collecting this actually for about over a year now. But original entry was about 13 cents. It went down to about 6 cents. We're now at a 9 cents stabilized. However, I bought a shitload at about 8 cents, and now we're at 9 cents on the uptrend. Mind you, Bluezo has DeFi and staking ability now. And what is bullish right now? Cosmos. And Cosmos has staking opportunities with a lot of shitty projects out there that have no use case. And Bluezo was the top performer last year, and it'll be the top performer this year. It is a 500 million coin cap. You could stake it on Bluezo website. You could stake it on Frontier. Well, actually, no, you can't stake on Frontier anymore. They're going to deactivate that because now you're going to go to Kepler. So Kepler is now ready to rock. So there's that. And the Cosmos kids are eventually going to find out about it. It's not going to matter what these silly ass influencers have to say because they costed their communities over 95% losses at this point anyways. So you would probably do yourself justice by talking to another cosmonaut and actually taking a look at Bluezo since it runs on top of Cosmos, get the interest, and you're getting a bottom on a 500 million coin cap coin that could easily scale into the dollars. Not to mention, Cointelegraph has already called Bluezo a unicorn company twice. So I'm not afraid, and I'm not tired of winning. I'll tell you that right now. Let's keep going to Dragon Chain. Did you guys like that interview with Dragon Chain? It was literally badass. I actually had an awesome conversation with those guys, and Joe invited me to go to the Dragon Chain roundtable conversation. So I'll be doing a podcast with them, I think maybe sometime next week. But they did invite me to do another one, and they also said they want to have another interview with us here at MYC. So I was actually extremely happy about that. Another interview that I want you guys to be ready for is I'm going to be appearing on Crypto John's channel. We're going to get that put. We're still coordinating a schedule for that, so that's going to happen sooner than later. And then also we have another one for Hex. We're going to have a Hex interview with SeekCryptoNow.com and also Micah on Tuesday, Valentine's Day at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to hope to God that Godwhale restakes his unstakeable or his stake in Hex. We'll see what happens. Let's say if he rugs, then, Hex in the decimals wouldn't be too bad. So we'll see what happens. But, we're going to talk about Hex that day. But we're also going to really harp on Web3 and DeFi. Guys, look, I'm in the crypto sector for DeFi, decentralized finance, immutable. And, when I heard the news about the SEC, I couldn't be more bullish for the sector. I know the mainstream crypto kids were saying how bad it was, and they're making a big sensationalized yuck about it. But to be honest with you, I was very bullish. In fact, when I got the news and I saw the market going down, I don't know if you guys saw me on Twitter, but I was still pumping out bullish as tweets because, see, here at MYC, we're not Teletubbies. I'll tell you that. We're adults in the room, and even though the market was going red, I was 10x bullish because of that. Because not only did I buy the dip, but I brought the nachos, and I was consistently talking about how bullish I was for this market based on that bullshit that happened with Kraken. Because I was like, first of all, why are you staking on a centralized exchange? Secondly, why are you giving away your keys? Third, why on earth are we staking on centralized exchanges? There are so many DeFi tokens out there that allow you to stake, like Hex, like Bluezil, like DYP, like a variety of coins. I think Chain token, which is a change token, is CHNG, is another stakeable token. Lido is another coin that you could stake DeFi. I mean, there's so many tokens out there that you could stake. And well, keep in mind, Lido, Lido, that's a very conservative approach to staking, and it only gives you 5% back. And to be honest with you, I don't think it's worth it. In fact, I think it's a shitty pick. A lot of people and a lot of pizzazz about it because of the backing that it has. And I think that's cool and all, but for 5%, that's nothing. And, to be honest, look, I'm a guy that loves sustainability when it comes to staker tokens. I need to see sustainability. But 5% APY on a coin that's volatile is not fair to me. Okay. If the token is not stable or it moves a lot and you're only getting 5%, I do not think the risk or I don't think the growth merits the risk. Okay. So I don't like Lido for that reason. It's too it's not stable enough, and you're only getting 5%. For that type of volatility, I'd rather stake Hex to maybe get 40% and be able to time my stake and do whatever, So to be honest with you, when I was comparing the two, I was like, I'd rather just stake Hex, to be honest. I don't have any Hex. I don't own it. I sold the shit out of it because I bought it for the decimals and I sold it at the top like I was supposed to. But again, when I look at the scenario again, I see the opportunity. And guys, look, unfortunately, I'm probably the only person that actually talks about tokens that I myself I'm not even holding. Okay. Because I'm not, see, unfortunately, we have a lot of shitty people in the crypto sector that only talk about things that they're holding because they're biased. But me, I like talking about a variety of different things, even whether I'm holding them or not holding them. It has nothing to, see, when you're actually giving a real unbiased review, okay, of your personal opinion on something, it should not matter whether you're holding the goddamn token or not. If something is bullish, it's fucking bullish. And to be honest with you, Hex, I see it as bullish and I'm not holding any. I'm taking a look at Lido. I think Lido is bullish, but based on the volatility and the interest that you could get from it, I don't really think it's worth it that much unless we start seeing growth, which I think we will. But, for the price it's just not a lot for me, Again, so a Dragon Chain I'm very excited about. I did want to just bring up that again. LCX I'm very excited on as well. LCX is an exchange token. Now, again, a lot of people saturate capital in it. Is it really worth saturating a lot of capital in? It's hard to say. I do feel like it's a conservative play. I do see it going $1.50 or more this coming cycle. I really do like it. But it's really more of a sideline play for me, or it's like something I want to put to the side. For me, like my favorite picks right now, and this is my personal opinion, the biggest bangers that I'm focused on right now is ABT Arcblock, 186 million coin cap. I'm focused on Bluezil, 500 million coin cap. Okay, you can stake it. Okay. And also Parsec, PRQ. That one has a 310 million coin cap. Okay. Now, I will say in January, tokens for the admins got unlocked in January. However, based on the price that's at now, I'm not too concerned with it. And based on my entry, I'm not concerned with it either. I got in for 8 cents. And even though I'm seeing volatility, there's no point to sell. If there's volatility that comes around in March, it really doesn't matter at this point. I think a lot of bears are still stuck in the past. Unfortunately, you fucked up. Okay. I'm going to just tell you the truth. Unfortunately, you fucked up not buying these bottoms. Okay. And unfortunately, you're probably going to make the same mistake not buying these bottoms. And then you're going to see a skyrocket happen. And then you're really going to be fucked because that's what's going to happen. See, the problem with people that are buying alts are too busy watching Bitcoin. You know, if you want to watch Bitcoin, watch the dominance level if you're an altcoin investor, because if you were buying alts at 35% dominance, it's over because those prices are gone forever. If Bitcoin goes up and it goes down a little bit, okay, sure. Okay, if it goes to 19, goes to 20 or whatever, it doesn't matter. What is that going to do to these altcoin prices that we bought at the damn near bottoms when Bitcoin dominance was 32, 35%? It's not coming back. You fucked up. It's over. So bears, I'm telling you, you are going to get more annihilated the longer you wait because the next leg up will happen. And everything is telling you inflation is about to pick assets up, So let me go through your comments real quick and we're going to keep it rolling. ICP is definitely a solid play. I consider it very conservative and I do see multipliers there. I do think it'll hit 20 USD in the near term just based on its price. But let's take a look at it. Dave says everyone needs to stop being a bitch and invest before their bank does a bail-in. That's absolutely correct, Dave. Trump JJ 2020 says when we go one, we go all. Ed, keep trusting the plan. But he also says debt will default, in my opinion. Well, you can't default when you print money. So I don't think we will default, but it doesn't matter because you have to think about it. When Jerome has a meeting, he's trying to sell US dollar debt. And the investors just got through watching Jerome say that they're going to expand the debt system again in June. Not only that is we're about to damn near get close to US dollar debt default. And even if you were to purchase the US dollar debt right now, the yield is 3 to 4% with inflation at 6% or higher. So you're actually, as an investor, you should be dumping US dollars now and waiting for the dollar to crash because you'll probably make more money on margin and interest if you just wait for the dollar to collapse, which I think will happen whether we expand the balance sheet in June or we have a US dollar default ahead of time when all the debtors just dump US bonds now because the dollar is too expensive. So see, there's a lot of things that are actually working against the dollar. In fact, the Fed and the US government, I feel, is deliberately manipulating these other central banks to dump dollars just so they could produce a dollar crash. Because you have to think about it. There's only two things that could happen. Either the government inflates the currency themselves by printing money, which doesn't look good on them, right? Doesn't look good on them because if they deliberately do it, that means they're making a conscious decision to expand the balance sheet, which debtors are not going to like because now you're just borrowing more money. What the Fed and the US government need to do is make it look like an accident. They need to make it look like an emergency as to why they needed to print money. And the only way for them to make it look like an emergency is to ensure that the Fed is the lender of last resort. So in order to make the Fed the lender of last resort, they need a dollar crash. And the only way they're going to get a dollar crash is by manipulating the USD value up and hurting central bank currencies around the world in such a way that it's hammering their currencies down, forcing them to dump US dollar debt. So if the Fed could force central banks around the world to dump US dollar debt, then they can make a great enough impact to crash the dollar on the other end. And if they could crash the dollar, then we have another financial crisis where the Fed could say, oh my gosh, look at this emergency. We should print our way out of it. See, that is the only other way out. And that's the only way that personally, that's what I see happening. I don't think that the Fed is going to be allowed to make the conscious decision to print money this time. I think that before we get to June, maybe in March, maybe in April, we'll have a dollar crash due to central banks dumping so much US dollar bonds, but also public debt going into default. And I think that's ultimately what's going to happen. And, unfortunately, inflation is the only way out of the $31 trillion debt bubble. And, it's unfortunate that governments utilize inflation at the expense of the American citizen or at the expense of citizens in order to pay off their debt. It's just another reason that, another piece of proof that banks and governments are the same entity utilizing inflation and deflation to rob you of your possessions or rob you of ownership. Okay. Because maybe one day you will own nothing and you will be very unhappy, or forced or educated to be happy. Um, Let's keep going. Daniel says, no goddamn tops on deck. God damn it. That's true, sir. Trump says, BRICS going to hold back. Absolutely. Gomes says, perfect timing. Dion just got back from the gym. Goddamn right. Gomes is out there getting those gains. Dave, you're 100% correct, says most affect us. S9 Plus says, will XRP ever go up? No. I'm just kidding. No, but I do think XRP will go up. But the problem is XRP needs more education. The community needs more education because, put it this way, this goes back to what I was saying. Scalability has nothing to do with regulations. XRP could scale with or without regulations. The problem is it doesn't have enough projects being built on top of it. Now, there are enough projects being built on top of it for there to have formed a bottom at the 30 to 40 cent range. Okay. So there is enough demand for XRP liquidity for those DeFi projects to the point where the price floor has risen. Okay. But the problem is education. We don't have enough XRP people educated enough to value the DeFi projects over the layer one. When you have a community that focuses too much on the value of the layer one coin, you do not have enough growth or scalability for the layer one because the utility of the coin itself is not being utilized for the DeFi projects. In fact, more and more people are utilizing the DeFi projects only to swap it back to XRP and hold XRP versus the DeFi project. Okay. A good example of what communities should be doing for projects that they believe in would be similar to like Chainlink and ETH. Okay. More people are willing to hold Chainlink only instead of swapping it back into ETH versus just hold it and using or utilizing Chainlink to just swap back into ETH. They rather hold Chainlink instead of ETH. You see, the problem is they have a smarter community. You know, they understand smart contracts. They understand the DeFi importance of the layer one, right? But we don't have enough XRP kids that are educated. That's the problem. And you have too many. See, the problem is the content creators too. The content creators are not educated. They're not builders. So they don't understand the infrastructure for the way these things work. They're too sauced in the Kool-Aid. If they took the time to understand builder education, then they would understand how to achieve their goal. And you know, the problem is they don't understand how to achieve their goal. So they propagate this way, which is the wrong way. They should be propagating for the importance of DeFi projects. That's another issue. But, you know, again, you know, XRP can reach higher numbers, you know, but if we're going to talk about riddles and 589 and 10K, it's going to take probably well over 100 years for it to get to those levels, you know. But, you know, based on where we're at and the growth rate, I think that $3 to $5 is possible, but it'll happen probably in another 5 to 10 years, you know. But again, you know, you're looking at 100 billion coin cap. I mean, what do you expect? XRP is nothing more than liquidity to serve the purpose of the DeFi projects running on top of it. The demand that XRP is pushing out is for the project. So if the projects are being built on top of the XRPL, the demand for XRP is needed. So they take those XRP coins and then they, you know, back their token with those XRP coins. So the more projects eventually will scale XRP to higher heights, you know, but again, this is all coming back to the education. You need to educate investors properly on the right expectations. You need to educate them on the infrastructure, on the way blockchain works. And the more we do that, the better expectations we could put out and also the better education we could put out to respect the DeFi projects, not just only the layer one. See, that's the bigger issue there for XRP. So, you know, but I do think it's a good pick. You know, it's you know, it's an education thing. But again, guys, like this is why OddApp exists. Okay. We have built our own app here at MYC. It's on Google phones and it's also on Android phones. It's 23 USD a month and it's fully private, encrypted. It's military grade encryption. And that's where we congregate, you know, so it's a safe place for MYC people to be. It's a safe place for, you know, if you could take a look at MYCNetwork.io, you'll take a look at there and you'll see that we have 3 different types of people inside of OddApp. Okay. We have admins from different, very known projects like Arcblock or Dragon Chain or Tron DAO now. that have entered into OddApp, and they like being there, and it's fun just to kind of get that interaction going. But we have 3 different types of people in OddApp. We have admins from different projects. We also have developers from different ecosystems there, but we also have a great deal of investors there. But the point of the matter is we have 3 different types of perspectives in educating the people. Because when you have 3 different types of perspectives, you guys will start to find a happy medium amongst yourselves to understand what it takes to scale, what it takes to actually make a project a success. A lot of people are too infatuated with the sensationalism that content creators have pushed out for overnight success, that they don't understand or realize how much blood, sweat, and tears and effort and money it takes for these admins and these developers to make these ideas, these projects become a reality. And because these false expectations have been pushed out, that's the reason why there's so many unhappy investors, because they invest with false expectations. And, that's one thing that we want to do here at OddApp. We want to educate people on a higher level. We want to educate people on the infrastructure of crypto, the way it works. That way people have the right expectations. And also, we want to convert investors into builders. When you are an investor, when you first come into the crypto sector, you're at the very bottom of the barrel when it comes to education. And then you have to, once you're here for long enough, you start realizing the coins that you buy are tools. You could use these tools to create your own business. You could use these tools to actually enhance the business you own today. There's so much more to this sector than just, price go up, price go down, So the more we could convert, investor education into builder education and to admin education, these are all things that are going to help us find a happy medium. So we not only we can invest smarter, but we can also mitigate our risk to a higher level. And that's why OddApp exists. We built it from the ground level up. It's available on Google. It's available on Apple. You download it. And for those of you, there were a couple people that were having issues at the entrance or whatever the case, guys, I'm getting those resolved. I actually just got through renewing our contract with a lot of our different development teams, Hyperlink Info System. So they're actually on the case. We were working on it last night, working on it today. So for those of you that were waiting, I think there was 3 of you, we're going to get that handled and squared away. So just to give you a quick update on that. And again, guys, look, you could always reach out to me for now. Okay. Until I add the features that I want to add to OddApp, like video streaming and a variety of other things I have in mind. Right now, the only platforms that you're going to find MYC on, okay? You're going to find me on Twitter. You could find me on Instagram, which is MYCNetwork.io. So you're going to be able to find me on Twitter, YouTube, OddApp. That's it, okay? Oh, and Instagram. So there's only 4 places. Instagram will be deleted soon. So eventually it's just going to be Twitter, YouTube, OddApp. And then when I install video streaming for OddApp and we could enable other content creators to work off of OddApp, then it'll just be OddApp and Twitter until I could replace Twitter with something we could do with OddApp. So again, guys, for those of you that are early adopters of OddApp, you may see it for what it is right now, but there is a tremendous amount of things that are coming. And I don't think I'm going to fail at building something greater than what we have today. I think we've done an amazing job together as a community, but I do want to ask you guys to continue supporting us, continue supporting our development, and continue supporting what we believe in. And to be honest with you guys, nobody has done it at this level, at this performance level, and everyone remembers us. Everybody knows everything that we've been able to accomplish together. So keep believing in us, keep supporting our development, join OddApp. I really want you guys in there. And, again, just reach out to me if there's ever anything that I need to troubleshoot with you. Okay. But I do appreciate you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. I do ask a lot of you guys to continue supporting us. I think that what we have here is special. I think that we're the only community in the crypto sector that has literally proven that we could bring the results at this amount of numbers. Okay. We have one of the smallest audience numbers, but look at what we've produced and what we've created. Okay. Nobody has the same results. And I think that speaks volumes of Bulls Gone Wild. Don't forget. But let's keep going. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, guys. Don't forget, this is fluent as it could be. No edits, all live every time, no commercials. Make sure you click the like button for us. Dave says CBDCs and time money will be how money velocity will be controlled. Correct. Sologenic 20x. I do think Sologenic will do really well. See, the library coin case was, I think, a historical case. I think that a lot of people need to pay attention to that. I do think that it will be the reason why XRP gets relisted, and I do think that Dragon Chain will be listed on Coinbase over it as well. You know, there's a lot of different things that are happening, but again, you know, if this is happening, put it this way, if library coin can open the door for itself and open the door for XRP, it'll open the door for Solo and also open the door for Dragon Chain. So I do want to continue supporting these American companies. And again, guys, look, you guys know where we started. You guys know we started from the very ground level. Okay. We've been working with Patriots from the ground level up. Okay. Keep supporting American companies. Okay. In every which way you can, support American companies. This is a new emerging digital economy, and American companies don't get the fair shot. Keep supporting us, okay? Because there's a lot of companies out there, and all of them are not American. These are American companies that we could support ourselves, okay? So, you know, don't forget about capitalism, okay? Capitalism is seed phase, and you grow into bigger platforms, your own platforms. A lot of these companies used to work on third-party platforms until they decentralized themselves to make their own stuff, okay? So keep that mentality, guys. Don't forget that everything is still a business. If you're in the crypto sector and you're an investor, you should be investing in companies that have produced software, that have produced a product and a service, because for a company to keep going, okay, unfortunately, they sell things. For companies to keep going, they have to make a product and they need to sell it. They have to make a service and they need to sell it. So as much as we want everything to be free, as capitalists and as investors, because if you're an investor, you're a capitalist, okay? These companies need to produce revenue. These companies need to produce a product or a service. So integrate that mentality into your investing strategy. These companies, if they are real companies, need to make money. They need to make something. They can't just be an idea forever. Okay. There's no reason for you to be investing in companies that have been around for more than 1 or 2 years and have not produced shit. Okay. So integrate that into your investing strategy. And, you know, I feel like you will do a lot better than investing in companies that don't produce a product, a service, or produce revenue for that company to keep going. Okay. So keep a capitalist mentality when it comes to supporting companies that are American, that are building or that are generating a product or service that takes in revenue. That's the point. That's what investors do. You want to invest. I don't know why this is in the crypto sector. I mean, clearly, 95% of the sector happen to be communists, but, you know, you really think about it, you know, if for some reason a lot of crypto investors just lose sight of the fact that when you're investing in a company, they should be making money. They should be producing a product or a service so they could keep operating. You can't operate a business for free. So, you know, integrate that into your strategies, please. Let's keep rolling. Lo Wang says, my brothers. Fancy Pants says, we've clinched the bottoms and nobody can take that away. Absolutely, sir. Jay says, but Dion, it's over. That's right. Ace Killjoy says, a hot dog sent me. Don't ever forget BLZ is a unicorn company. DeFi Mela says, BLZ almost cured my porn addiction. Don't forget. Ace Killjoy says, Dave is on fire. DeFi Mela says, goddamn Hexicans again. Absolutely. Fancy Pants says, that was a fucking badass discussion with Den.social and Dragon Chain. Yeah, thank you, sir. We're going to have them on again. Joe was actually super cool, super based. We had a very based conversation, and he's awesome. Gomes said, I just finished my Casper bag today. I know you don't like it, Dion. Well, you know something? At least Casper has staking. Okay, so staking is there, you know, although I do not think the inflation rate supersedes the margin, but we'll see. You know, who knows? With price volatility, things can make sense. Eric says, Johnson yesterday, Papa Dion. Eric, Johnny's, yes, Papa Dion. What about ICP? I do like ICP. It is a great, great company. Fancy Pants says, are you saying we should unstake our BLZ if we have it on Frontier and move it to Kepler? I agree. Yes, you should. How is Solo going to pump with this core thing migration? Okay, so Solo is not migrating. Okay, from what they have said, it is going to stay on the XRPL as it should. I think Solo is the centerpiece of XRPO. It is the most valuable company on the XRPO, no doubt. I do think that we should, based on what's going on, I think we should have a different expectation for growth. The only reason why is because we have to look at the circulation. The circulation is 100% in, okay? The only reason why Solo hit those higher numbers before is not because it was a pump and dump. It was because only 200 million coins were available at that time. 200 million were locked up for an airdrop, okay? So there was a gimmick. There was a gimmick for it to pump because only 200 million were available for the market, and that's why you had scalability. The total cap on Solo is 400 million coin cap. So, you know, it's not going to have that same type of growth rate, and it's not going to have the same scalability because 100% are in circulation as opposed to 50%. So I do feel like 350 is a conservative viewpoint with or without license, I feel. If it does get a license based on everything going on with the SEC and XRP and the library case, you know, well, who knows? There's a lot of things could happen. We'll see. But I do think expectations should be shifted. That's just for Solo by itself. Core is a shitty position for me. And the reason why is because the coins that you own at this time are worthless. And the reason why they're worthless is because they're not the coin, they're not the true coin anymore. So you have Core 1, which is a coin that's not going to exist anymore. You also have X Core, which is an IOU if you're holding, you know, XRP or whatever, or Solo, I forget. But X Core is an IOU for the new chain that's going to be launched on Cosmos. So no matter what, you have Core 1 and Core 2 that are worthless, and you're actually waiting on the real coin that'll be minted on IBC Cosmos. So both of these coins are worthless. You might as well just dump them and wait for the actual coin to be launched on Cosmos and call it a day. So that they have a double migration of 2 coins, and they minted 2 coins within a 1-year radius that's going to represent another coin that hasn't been out yet. So completely horrendous strategy. I think the entire thing is fucking stupid, to be perfectly honest with you. But again, a lot of these guys are not going to understand what migration really means or how it works until March. So it's still coming. They're going to learn their lesson a little bit, but it's coming. It's the same thing with Alliance Block. A lot of people don't want to learn their lesson about migrations. I sit there and I tell people, you know, it's going to migrate because it got hacked, and people told me it wasn't going to migrate. It's migrating. So ALBT is worthless. It's completely worthless at this time. Okay, you have to wait for the new one to come out, and then then you could, you know, they're going to do a 1-for-1 swap or whatever. However, I will bring this up. Gomes brought up an interesting strategy I've never thought about before. I do want to see if it works out for him. I don't think it will, but I do want to see if it works because, you know, I like to describe it as a strategy where you see a tsunami of losses, but what you do is instead of running away from the losses, you get more losses. So what you do is you're running towards the tsunami. And what he's doing is, as the price, and clearly it's a migration, so it's going to go to it's going to go to zero. However, but what he's doing is he's purchasing all those tokens at very cheap at, you know, whatever he's purchasing them at, because he knows that they're going to do a 1-for-1 swap. So he's going to collect as many tokens as he can and then do the 1-for-1 swap and hope to God that the liquidity that's being transferred over to the new coin will be worth the losses that he's taking up front. I think that's actually a very solid strategy if you got fucked over in a migration. Like, I mean, you might as well try whatever you can to get out of those losses. But I will give him that respect that swimming towards the tsunami of losses based on, you know, because keep in mind, you know, when everything happened, he was already in and he got screwed over. So, but, you know, to go at it that way, I've never thought of it myself. For me, I was like, just get out ASAP. But, you know, I think that's a safer route. But what he's doing is actually, you know, pretty smart, I think. We'll see what happens. I will get to your comment. No, that's not how it's being done. I will buy the new token after plebs dump it. If you buy it now, you won't get new ones. Oh, okay. So never mind. I take everything I said back. Okay. So you don't ever want to do what why I just even I didn't know. I thought you could still buy them. So they froze the whole thing then. Okay, so they froze the whole thing. So you're screwed no matter what you do in that particular case. Okay, never mind. I take back everything. Because now that you bring that up, I remember as soon as this happened, they froze all the tokens. So you couldn't buy more anyways. So yeah, never mind. Um so if you go to the new token based on the price, I would, anything could happen, but there could be scalability. Unfortunately, though, I don't believe there will be. There might be volatility in the beginning and there could be scale later, because you got to keep in mind now that a new token is being launched or minted, then that admin needs to put tokens into circulation. So maybe it's not the investor selling, but it'll be the admin, because the admin unfortunately has the responsibility of putting tokens into circulation. So because of that, I won't be buying AOBT for at least 3 years, because I know the admin has to go through the decentralization process. Could there be gains that first year? Maybe, but for me, I have like this strong standard. I don't want to touch a coin that has been launched a year ago. It has to be 3 years, that's just my gauge. Can you get in after 2 years? Yeah, sure. But for me, my gauge is 3 year mark. I don't want to touch anything that hasn't been 3 year. And the reason why is because of stupid shit that's happened. For instance, Core is a perfect example of this. If you use that same standard, you would have not got fucked over, because you would have not have to deal with 2 migrations. You only have to deal with that new coin, because in 3 years, some decentralization will happen with that third coin, and maybe it'll be a decent pick at that time, but as for now and going through all the volatility, it just depends on how you look at it. But let me keep going. But again, I don't think Core is is a separate catastrophe. Solo, anything could happen. It's fully, distributed. I like that, so there can be scalability with or without license. And if it does get a license, I think we could definitely put our expectations beyond 350. $3.50. That is, that's just, kind of the way I'm looking at it. Ace Killjoy says MYC made my tits addiction go parabolic. If you know, you know. Bull's gone wild. Don't forget. Brandon says Rekt City ransom is coming for everyone not holding Arcblock. That's for sure. Honestly, to give you guys a big update on Arcblock just deployed its AI blocklet, and that thing is badass. So now you are getting 10x the production rate of dApps, and that could be allocated to any ecosystem, not just Arcblock. So you have a interoperable blocklet that you could run on Arcblock server, or you could run it on your own server and utilize the AI to literally lightning speed build your website, build your NFT marketplace, build DID solutions, build literally anything you want at 10x the production rate, because the AI robot does fucking everything for you. Boom. So I would not underestimate Arcblock. I was actually talking to someone earlier today where, he was like, I don't get it. I don't understand why people aren't getting on this now, because, I buy shit coins or meme coins that are over 300 million in market cap, and Arcblock is under 20 million market cap, and it's a 186 million with actual use case. So he bought a shitload. But again, this is just what's funny. You guys you look at the coins that you own. All of them are well above 100 million coin cap, or well over 100 million in market cap. And Arcblock has 186 million coins available only. And at 100 million of a market cap, it's already $1 Arcblock. So you don't think a coin with this use case is going to be over 100 million market cap? 100 million market cap on Arcblock is $1. So, and it's on Coinbase. So like, I don't know. For when people get, they flinch at Arcblock, and I'm like, I mean, even conservatively speaking, I really feel confident it's going to hit $1 at least, so it's like, for what it does, you have blockchain 3.0 programmability and a variety of other use cases. I actually think that, conservatively speaking, considering its direct competition with Atom and Dot, see, Atom and Dot, you only have 2 coding languages. Arcblock, you could code in any language. You also have interoperability. You could do blocklet on any ecosystem. You don't need a migration. Okay. You also have faster TPS. Atom only produces 10,000 TPS. Arcblock produces 100,000 TPS, which is even better than Solana. And you could create dApps at 10x the speed with AI. So if this is their direct competition, Atom and Dot, and you're looking at Arcblock. Arcblock has better technology, has 186 million fixed supply. That's less than both Dot and Atom. I mean, the way I see it, if you take a look at their market caps, if Arcblock does even half, you're still looking at $50 or more Arcblock in the future. So that's just me logically speaking, but I mean, you guys do what you do when you're doing your research. I'm very confident in where we're at. I just don't think a lot of people have experienced actually buying emerging markets like MYC. MYC is like notorious for buying emerging markets before the news, before mainstream media actually catches on. And there's so many historical, like literally so many historical moments that we've experienced buying something before it was adopted or mainstream media and absolutely doing triple digit multipliers. So I think it's just an MYC thing. I don't know. I think a lot of people like buying tops and I just like buying bottoms. I don't know what it is. Let's keep going. Brandon says Robert's tweets on Arcblock today had me bullish. Aaron Miller says self-custody is the key. Absolutely. Fancy Pants says if you're not holding ABT, you better jump. Do it now. Don't be a pleb. Bought ABT, not sure if to dump all XRP too. Look, you have to do you, man. I actually haven't held XRP in over 2 years. I used to drink the Kool-Aid for several years, and after understanding tokenomics and understanding infrastructure, the way layer one scale, all these different things, it taught me that, I could make far greater. I mean, you're talking to a guy that's held over double digit to triple digit multipliers. Like there's literally eyewitness accounts of me holding triple digit multipliers, not selling. So, you don't need XRP to do that, So if you're hoping for those huge gains with XRP, I just don't see it there. I think that there's other better opportunities to grow. I highly recommend joining OddApp to learn infrastructure with us. That way you can understand from a developer or admin's perspective, not only just watching crypto kids on YouTube like me, or, or watching, sensationalism, there's a way that things work and things work mathematically, and you have to look at scarcity, and that's just what it is, DeFi Mela says, I heard it here first. First one's in your girl's back door. Be Like Water says, bro, please don't delete your YouTube or Twitter. But they're here for now, guys. I didn't say I was going to delete them now. I just said that, once I, develop our software to a certain point, we're not going to need any of these things. We're going to continue building our own things. This is what I need you guys to get. Look, I've been telling you guys, we could build so much together, and look at what we've accomplished and built the way we are now with the numbers that we have. Okay. We've done more than people with over millions of subscribers and followers. They haven't produced software. They haven't built anything. Okay. And we're here to build a network. I don't want to build an audience. I want to build a network, build a network of builders. And I want to take our people to the next level. And, to think or to doctrine yourselves into thinking that you're always going to need the mega conglomerate to be successful. I don't want you guys to think that. I want you guys to understand that you are big enough to beat big tech. That's what I need you guys to realize, that we are the next big tech. And to continuously think that you always need Twitter to be successful. You always need YouTube to be safe. When I first started, yeah, I needed these things to get started. But as a capitalist, as an investor, I'm going to create bigger and better products with my community, and we're going to continue developing our own micro digital economy, because eventually we're only going to need ourselves, and we're going to be the worst kept secret in the crypto sector. We're going to be the next fucking digital fight club. Okay. And that's what we have here, and there's a lot of people, and I understand that there's going to be people that don't like us and people that like us. But at the end of the day, guys, nobody has done what we've done. That's why I keep telling you guys, like, I ask you guys to continue supporting our development. I'm going to continue bringing content, and I'm going to find different ways to provide that content through my own software. And so, it's not going to happen overnight. I still have Instagram, I still have Twitter, I still have YouTube. I have OddApp, and the majority of my time will be spent on OddApp. Okay. But as I continue developing it, I'm going to develop it in such a way that we will not need a variety of these other platforms. We're going to create our own platforms. So, I kind of want you guys to understand that, you could be successful without big tech, because you should be able to dream big enough with blockchain technology that you could be the next big tech. And that's what I want our community to be. And, we have a big interview coming up with Tron DAO. They have 2 million subscribers. And Tron DAO invited us to do a interview with the Tron girls and also Hunter, which is the funding manager for Tron community. And he wants me to talk about Tron TRX payment integration with OddApp and Web3 possibilities. So we're going to be doing a scheduled interview with me. We're going to talk about Tron TRX. We're going to talk about Odd and OddApp and how we can integrate payments and integrate a variety of other features, stuff like that, guys. So, keep supporting our growth, keep supporting our development. I want to continue building, and I'm passionate about what we're doing here. And I think that you guys have enough or seen enough to believe in me and believe in us and believe in our network that we could be greater than big tech. So, guys, I want you guys to just really get it. I want you guys to get it. All right. We are bigger than what you guys see around you, and maybe the numbers aren't presented to you accurately on these platforms, but I could tell you that if they were accurate, we wouldn't be this big. Okay. And they're not. A lot of these platforms manipulate numbers because they keep in mind that the reward system on this platform, the reward system on Twitter, the reward system on different platforms, okay, are predicated on algorithmic programs that reward the content creator to produce a particular type of content based on their ideologies. And, you have to think past the numbers. You can't be, a person continuously brainwashed by these algorithmic numbers, whether it be views, subscribers, followers, likes, engagements. I mean, you can even buy Twitter Spaces listeners at this point. So I want you guys to think bigger with me. I want you guys to think bigger with me. I don't want to create an audience. I want to create a network. And I understand that an audience is naturally going to come to me because of this, but that's not what I want. I want a network, and I want a systematic community of power that we could grow our own micro digital economy. So, just continue supporting us. I'm not leaving, guys, look, I'm not deleting YouTube in the near future or Twitter. There's still a lot of work to be done to get to those levels, but we have already done a lot to the point where we could think about those things. I couldn't think about those things back then. I know our community could not think about the things that we've done today 2 years ago, okay, or 3 years ago. So I want you guys to understand that development and growth is happening, and eventually MYC needs to evolve out of third-party platforms. I want to develop a network that we are all working together on our own platform, our own stuff, our own decentralized platforms. Because, that's what Web3 is about, guys. Web3 is about decentralizing yourself from big tech to have your own stuff. I want you guys to continuously, especially for our builders, we have made a lot of partners, a lot of project partners, a lot of admin partners, developers, builders, content creators, so many people. I really would like to say that we have a 40% builders and then 60% investors, when it comes to our audiences. We have a lot of builders now. And I know a lot of you guys watch us. And, we're going to be doing a lot more interviews with a lot of you. I want to get platform for a lot of you guys. I want to use the doors that I've opened for you guys. Okay. So, but I want you guys to also realize that this is not a regular channel. Okay. This is just a different way of the way we do things here. Clearly we're not, we're not reporters in a way. We're not, You know, it's changed. Like, you know, we're developing. So, but I want you guys to understand that as builders, for those of you that are building and admins and the people that I know that watch this channel for the variety of reasons that you guys do that, I want to build with you. Okay. I don't want us to watch each other. I want to build with each other. And that's the goal for what the future will be. And I want to continue that ideology with you guys because that's what's important to me. So, you know, let's continue that goal and continue focusing as innovators on that front. Okay. DeFi Mela says, but Dion, I'm only here for tits and ROI. What the fuck? Oh, well, sorry, DeFi Melas. You know, don't tell anybody, but I might be here for the tech. Be Like Water says, that makes perfect sense, bro, but no pleb policy. Praetorian, I believe, I don't know how to say that. PRQ will make pants soiled. Don't forget, yes. Don't forget, ABT, BLZ, and PRQ will soil your pants. So if you're doing any research on those three companies, do not forget to wear Pampers. Don't forget. DeFi Mela says all these goddamn plebs have nothing but hot breath, no software, and definitely no Rolex. Fabi says hit that goddamn like button, people. Gangster says Dion the Tyler Durden of finance. The Dark Knot says only need one home run to lead you to the championship. Absolutely. ABT is the most stable when the markets got rough. I was still up. Absolutely. That's the point. That's the point. To be in a bottom, to be in an emerging market before people realize it's important. You have Web3 foundational layer. Okay. All the Web3 projects right now are at the very bottom. You guys notice that? All the Web2 projects that did well last cycle, that had the popularity last cycle, they're bubble popping right now. They're all dying. 95% losses. Now, the projects that are at the very bottom, ABT, BLZ, PRQ, LCX, Jasmine, you know. Hold on. What was another one that we were looking at? DYP. There's another one I want to talk about. I know there was another one. There was a few that we were talking about earlier. Tone. I know we were talking about DYP a lot. Silo. Aragon, ANT. Dragon Chain for sure. You know, but again, you know, we want to get those emerging markets. You know, we don't want things that are saturated already. It's like for instance, I think it's silly to buy Cosmos or DOT right now. You know, they're already saturated. Either $6, 10, 12 bucks, whatever. You know, for the multipliers you're gonna get, for the weight that you have to wait for those multipliers. You know, you could get far greater ROI other places. You know, so that's kind of my thing. I do love Proppy. I think Proppy is awesome. I think the CEOs are hot as shit. And they do have a lot of awesome partnerships, I would imagine. But Proppy is definitely a good pick. I feel like it's too expensive. Whenever I look at it, I'm like, I really don't want to pay that money for that token based on its ATH right now. And I do feel like it could go higher, but like for 40 cents right now, I could think of so many coins I'd rather buy, like PRQ or ABT, BLZ. You know, I could get anywhere between almost 6 to 10x per dollar, you know? So like, sometimes I think about that. Shipping, I have heard great things about it. I'll be honest with you, I haven't got to look in too far into that one though. Dark Knot says, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, I said, been in it for a bit. Yeah, you know, we used to buy Proppy when it was like 10, 15 cents back in the day, bro. And that was a great pick. That was a great pick. There was another one that kind of was similar to that pick that should have, I felt, you know, it got screwed over. It was actually a good coin. Even David Schwartz liked it. It wasn't Ken, K-I-N. This was way back. It was another one that sounded like Proppy. Don't worry about it. But anyways, you know, again, guys, look, for those of you that just came in, I do highly recommend you watch the first 10 to 20 minutes of this video to catch an economic forecast and what my thoughts are, just so you know. But again, guys, look, I do think that we're in a full-fledged bull cycle, and when people hear bull cycle, they think of, when they were buying tops at the end of the bull cycle last cycle. And I can tell you guys, look, I understand a lot of you learned some hard lessons, okay? But those hard lessons were learned at the peak tail end of a bull cycle, okay? And the bull cycle was, you know, 2 years running already, okay? Bull cycles happen over a course of the years, and right now you're looking at the very bottom of a bull cycle, okay? And peaks aren't gonna be till 2025. So you have years of small, slow, incremental growth. And for those of you that do the right thing holding and having the longer fight in mind, you are going to change your life, because these are going to be ways to unlock double to triple digit multipliers. And 95% of you are going to fail. And the reason why is because, a lot of people don't know how to hold. They're going to take a 5x, and maybe take a 10x, maybe take a 2x, 3x. And then they're going to ruin their entry. And once you ruin your entry, you're ruining your multipliers. Okay. So again, protect multipliers at all cost, as if it were your life, because it is. Every time you ruin or forfeit an entry on a multiplier, you're altering your life by 5 to 10x. Okay. Because the entry on a 1 penny entry versus a 5 penny entry or a 10 penny entry or a 15 penny entry, changes things substantially. If your goal is to hit $1, let's say, and for instance, LCX, good example. I feel like it'll hit $1 one day. I think it'll do probably $1.50 or more, this cycle, personally. But let's use that as an example. You could buy LCX, and let's say you have the goal of $1. If you buy it at 10 cents, that's 10x per dollar. If you don't seize the moment and you wait till 15 cents, now you have 6.66x per dollar. If you wait till 20 cents, now you have 5x per dollar. If you wait till 25 cents, now you have 4x per dollar. And slowly and surely, your life is going to evaporate, and you're going to be watching charts for another 3 cycles because you ruined it this cycle. So take what you're doing seriously. Invest in real shit. Invest in real companies. If you're an investor, you're a capitalist. And as a capitalist, you need to look at companies and support companies that are generating revenue, that are making products and services real. Not an idea, not a pitch. Look at Web3 projects that have a product and something to fucking sell. When I first came out with the Odd app, people were sitting there, saying silly things to me. And I thank God that a lot of you supported it, because I would not be able to support the app without you guys. I would not be able to support myself without the app. So when I took a look at things, people say, oh, what the heck? This has a revenue stream. This has a business model. That sucks. Okay, well, unfortunately, in order to keep things running and to have a real viable business, you need to have revenue. And, if you're investing in something and it's producing a service or a product you like, then that should be sold, and it should be a business model to keep it going so you could have it forever, right? But we have investors that go and purchase stupid shit that don't have a business model. It doesn't have anything. It has nothing to make it survive except your money and the next person's money. So again, this is going way back to the part where I was telling you guys, where it's like, we have this weird communist fucking ideology in the crypto sector that we should be buying companies that don't have a business model. That it's just because, somebody just fucking slapped an AI sticker on it and boom, we got AI. No. Do you have a product? Do you have a service? Are you charging for it? Because I'm a customer. If I'm an investor, I better be able to be a customer. Because if I'm an investor and I can't be a customer, and the best thing you have for me are news announcements about you have 10 exchanges listings, and you have 10 on-ramps, you have 10 cash registers to take my money, but you don't got a fucking product or service to sell me, you deserve to go to zero. So again, guys, if you're an investor or if you're a supporter of anybody or anyone or any company, any brand, you should be able to be a customer. If you're going to be an investor, you better be a customer too. Because if you're not a customer, then why are you investing in a business that has no viable business model? At some point, you're going to need to grow up and be a capitalist. At some point, you're going to grow up and understand that you're a venture capitalist. And a venture capitalist, you're looking for high ROI. Unfortunately, when you're trying to make a lot of margin, the price to pay is volatility. And volatility is what the crypto sector is. So if you're going to be an investor experiencing high volatility and high risk for high reward, you must understand that you must pay the price of volatility. And if you're going to pay the price of volatility, that margin better make sense. That ROI potential better make sense. And I'm not here for 5x. I'm for goddamn sure not here for 10x. Go to hell. I'm here for 100x, 50x minimum. So when I'm doing my strategies or when I'm taking a look at different companies, you better have a goddamn business model. Don't fucking come talk to me about your company, or don't come talk to me about a token and it has no business. It has no model. It has no service. It has no product. It has no provable product. It has no provable anything. You're not going to come to me to say, oh, the sentiment is AI and this company has AI sticker on it. No, motherfucker. I want to see a product. I want to see a business model. I want to see what creates business for them not to sell those tokens. Because when you're investing in stocks, you're looking for viable businesses that are making money, so they don't need to sell stocks to raise capital. Okay? Because when you're investing in stocks, it should be the same thing if you're investing in crypto. If you're investing in a stock, you take a look at the P&Ls and you're looking at the P&Ls and you say, well, this company's making money. So if they're making money, chances are they're not going to sell stocks on me. They're not going to dump shares on me to raise capital to keep their business going. It should be no different in the crypto sector. Do you have a business model? Great. Because if you have a good business model, you're making money, that means you're not going to have to dump tokens to raise capital to keep the company going. See, unfortunately, this is the ugly truth of business. You have to make money. So, let's go back to basics for those of you that are brand new, and for those of you that have forgotten how to be an investor, because what I see in the markets today is bullshit. Balance should do well. Absolutely. I haven't looked at it, but Balance also says, but only if Dion says so. Well, look, I haven't looked at it. So, but again, do your research. But if it's on Coinbase, I know that. Dark Knight says, no, he's speaking facts. Frashad says, hello, everyone. I am cooking macaroni for my family, but watching your show, best believe. Absolutely. AGI ran up decent. Yes, I do think that AGI, actually, I was on a Zoom call with Ben a long time ago. I didn't like the business model. But I used to buy AGI back in the day when it was decimals, and I'm not impressed with it today. And the reason why is because there's nothing produced. The guy's been talking about AI. I don't see any product or service. The biggest announcements I saw was a migration to ADA, but I have not seen an AI produced product from him or AI produced anything. So it's like, I understand it looks like a freelancing, Craigslist type of website, for different developers to get work in, but whatever. But again, I still haven't seen any sort of product produced yet. So like, I kind of was not as confident in AGI, although, I did like the uptrend on it, that was cool, but I don't think it's going to be sustainable uptrend. I was actually more bullish on Fetch.ai, and there's another one I don't remember, but again, that's another example. I would like, if you guys could update me on that, I would love it. I did ask people on Twitter. I was like, hey guys, what product has AGI came out with? Because it's been years and I don't see anything. I really don't. All I see is a migration, and that's it. And that's not development. Migrations or listings or on ramps and off ramps. These are cash registers. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. And at some point, you have to stop being like, oh, well, that's a partner with this person, a partner. So the fuck what if they're partners with whoever? What are they selling? What do they have? And if you don't got anything, then I'm not going to buy it. It's that simple. So, and again, that's just what it is. But, again, that's just something I I keep up with. Fashad says, do smash that like button, please, everyone. Fashad says, now I am a Flare well. I am super happy, best believe. I really don't like Flare, bro. I know there's so many people that love Flare, but I hate Flare. You know, not only because Hugo is retarded, but, you know, I just don't like what happened. The whole fiasco was bullshit. You know, I thought that, you know, BitTrue was bullshit because they were selling IOUs. Under no circumstance should IOUs be sold when everything around our doctrine is 1-for-1. On top of that, you know, they were dumping the IOUs in exchange for the liquidity right before they launched Flare. It sent it on a downward spiral, which I did not like either, you know. And mind you, I don't own any Flare. I didn't even get any from the whole thing, you know. But again, watching the process of everything, I didn't like it. And then also, I don't see any sort of reoccurring value model that's creating value for things to be brought in. On top of that, I don't like inflation rates when we're already dealing with 6% inflation rate with the US dollar or centralized picks. If the pick is centralized, you know, like, guys, you know, we're trying to escape the monetary system. We're getting away from centralized finance. We're trying to go into DeFi. We should be really supporting these decentralized finances, especially when, like, you take a look at the large caps that are out there. They're saturating so much capital and they're not doing anything. I hate that. You know, we have to be so much more harder on these guys to make something. You know, at certain points, it's like, dude, just make something, you know? Um, But, you know, we'll see how it goes. The Dark Knot says, if the truth doesn't hurt, it's not the truth. Mark, I don't know if a crash is coming or not. Well, it doesn't matter because the crash that you're predicating it on is Bitcoin, right? Well, if you were collecting altcoins at 35% dominance ratio, what does it matter what it does on a pump or a bleed from here? It's alt season. Now is the bull cycle. And the bull cycle is going to last the next couple of years as far as I'm concerned. But I did my best to finish my bags. Too scared about investing in AGIX. I don't even want to touch it, and I didn't touch it even during the craze. I liked Fetch.ai as far as I went. Because if things go south, that's a long ways down. Yeah, I wouldn't buy that coin. I think it's a lot of hype and bullshit. You know, because they don't have a product. They just had everyone just, you know, when they remembered AI, they thought about AGI from back in the day, and that was it. But if you take a look at everything and for how many years it's been in play, they had no right to migrate. First off, they had no right to migrate, especially without producing a product or service yet. And then on top of that, now that we have them on another ecosystem, we still don't have a product. We have idealism. And that's why I didn't like when I did talk to Ben. And I don't have a personal relationship with him. I just happened to talk to him. And look, I support anybody brave enough to try a project. I mean, 95% of all projects, they fail. They're startups. It sucks. You know, it's just a shitty truth about things. You know, even when you start a regular LLC, they're likely to fail. You know, it takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of money, blood, sweat, and tears to even have the balls to start a project, guys. So I'm going to give you guys that respect. Okay. But you know, when I'm looking at things, you know, it's like when I'm hearing a CEO talk to me about what they want or what they want to do, and I'm not hearing a business model, and I'm only hearing like imagination and shit like that, or nothing that's like I could talk to you. All right, let me put it this way, okay? Let me put it this way. I want to start a project and I want to make fucking, you know, flying space, you know, flying saucers. Okay. And they're going to do this and they're going to do that, you know, blah, blah, you know, and I don't ever build it. Okay. Or I'm not doing anything remotely close to make this a reality. Okay. See, that's my point. You know, there's nothing going on in respects to what the idea was. And that's what turns me off about that. But you know, it's definitely a nice opportunity if you got it. Fashad says, now I own even more Flare than XRP. First time, best believe. Man, I really hope it works, bro. I mean, I would, you know, get your money out, you know. The Dark Knot says, yes, good points. Got to throw that bag into ABT. ABT is going to be parabolic. You know, it's 186 million coin cap, fixed supply, and it has a bigger programmability than both ETH and Bitcoin. When you take a look at Bitcoin, it's a 1.0 programmability, peer-to-peer transactions. You're looking at ETH as 2.0 blockchain because you add smart contracts, but with blockchain 3.0, you have interoperability, you have blocklet, cloud node, and you also have revenue split models with Arcblock. And that's a whole nother level because, I mean, think about it, guys. Like, Back in the day, I'm going to say now because now I'm looking into the future. Back in the day when you were doing transactions or you're selling NFTs or you're selling anything on the blockchain, you could only link it up to one wallet and there's no revenue split. You'd have to do everything manually. The money comes in, and then if you have partners, you take the money in and then you have to manually send it, to each person. And then those people got to keep tabs on you and keep watching you to make sure they get paid, right? With blockchain 3.0, you're going to have a different set of programmability where you have revenue split and boss payment systems where you could pay different people per transaction. So instead of people having to watch you or people having to make sure or all these different things, you have a different programmability with Arcblock that's interoperable blocklets that could be utilized in different ecosystems with revenue split, where per transaction the split happens upon transaction. You see? So, it's a bigger enterprise grade level when it comes to how you could get things done. Not only that, but you could also build dApps at 10x the speed with AI blocklets. So instead of, you needing to be a highly talented developer or a coder or whatever the case, Blocklet allows somebody with zero experience to build dApps at 10x the speed, just like anybody else. That is interoperability and true programmability that could bring adoption for even somebody that has no coding experience. Okay. And what's nice with Arcblock is you could code it in anything. You have Python, Solidity, JavaScript, anything you want, you could code with Arcblock. It's universal coding language. You don't have like Atom and Dot. You can only use Rust or Go. That's it. You can't. There's nothing else. There's no interoperability either. So, those are just different things that I look at when I'm looking at Arcblock, because you have better TPS, better interoperability, and no migration needed. It's blockchain agnostic technology where, back then admins, if you needed the technology or smart contracts of another chain, you had to fucking migrate and kill off your investors. You had to migrate and kill the community just to get the technology you needed. Arcblock has technology that is decentralized Web3 that could be taken and put onto their server. If you're running on the XRPL, you could run Blocklet on your server over there. If you're running on ETH, you could take your Blocklet and run it on your server over there. You don't need to migrate to Arcblock in order to use their tech. That's the key, is interoperability, without the need to leave your ecosystem. You have no blockchain lock-in, okay? See, I don't think enough people understanding what they hold yet, or they're not doing enough research to understand just how great the technology is. Because you have two different models with Arcblock. You could use the Blocklet and use their server, and you have to pay them per quarter. That's a business model. Or you could just take the Blocklet, which is open source, and then run the Blocklet on your own server at lightning speed and create dApps on demand. So, it gives ecosystem admins and developers the options to utilize blockchain 3.0 programmability without needing to leave their ecosystem, without needing to migrate. You guys, I heard Sologenic needs DID solutions. Look at what they're doing with Core. They had to migrate to Cosmos because they feel that's where it needs to go. And they're going to burn all these investors. They have no idea yet, but they're going to burn all these investors to go get over there. Okay, and now they're going to do a one-for-one swap or whatever. With Arcblock type companies, you're going to be able to keep those guys where they are, and they're going to be able to use the technology they need wherever they're at without needing to burn all these bridges and go to different places and migrate. That is a beautiful thing, So if Sologenic needs DID solutions, they could run Blocklet, get DID solution, and then put it over there on XRPL, and not have to worry about having to migrate to wherever they need to migrate. That is huge, especially for investors. Imagine a company that's allowing you the ability to build what you need for whatever solution you need without needing to migrate and burn all these investors. You guys that have been through these migrations should be like going parabolic for Arcblock, because now you don't need to get burned again like that, because a company needs to get the tech it needs. That is huge. Farshad says, I do agree with you. Yep. Gomes says, ABT is just loco. It's a real business. People, 5 billion market cap is peanuts. I believe it will be, because if it's direct competitors with Atom and Dot, and it has better technology, faster transactions per second, interoperability, blockchain agnostic, blockchain 3.0 programmability. Smaller cap. Those are its direct competitors, and it has better tech. If it accomplishes even half of the market caps they achieved with not even the tech that this has, then Arcblock is going, like, conservatively speaking, could go $50 or more based on the comparison of competitive tension between the three different technologies. And I'm here for the tech, and I'm not a slave to any brand. I don't give two shits. If I see that the pulse of the market is heading into the future for different programmability or better use case or stronger, faster technology, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I really like Windows XP, so fuck them. I'm staying on Windows XP because this is the best. I made all the money on Windows XP, so I'm going to stay on Windows XP instead of going to Mac. Yeah, that's the type of bullshit we got in the crypto sector. They will literally stay with Windows XP instead of going to Windows 2023, just because it's a brand, So, like, I'm an investor. I don't give a shit about nothing. I will look at whatever is the next upcoming emerging market, and that's where I'm going to go. Because, growth does not happen forever. It comes in cycles. So I'm not going to do that with my investments, clearly. So, you have to continuously move at the pulse of the market, And again, guys, look, if you want to talk to me every day, you want to network or build with us, whatever the case, you want to be with us, we're on OddApp 24/7. That's where I work 24/7 on OddApp. So guys, it's 23 USD a month. You can subscribe there. It's on Apple and Google phones. You want to support our development. And I ask you guys that have been with us forever, support our development. See what we've done. See our accomplishments. I know we're worth it. If you think we're worth it, I think you should join OddApp and become a subscriber and support our development. Okay. That Dark Knot says wealth is built upon a series of transactions. Be easy. Absolutely. Gomes says 14.5 million market cap. You buying juicy bottoms. Mark says I bought more Arcblock at 15. I'm just scared that train will take off without me. It very well can, because 100 million market cap is a $1 Arcblock, and that's just peanuts. I bought meme coins with bigger market caps than that have zero use case. But, again, guys, look, everyone has their own bet to make. This is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. It's every man for himself. It's rug or be rugged. Don't ever forget. We could go to zero by tonight. But, guys, look, don't forget to press the like button for me. I wanted to do a live stream for you guys. I missed you guys. I'm sorry that, I'm not around as much, But I promise you, I'm continuously working with our community, and I want to continuously bring our builders to the forefront, okay? You guys have opened so many doors for me, and I've opened up so many other doors because of you, if it wasn't for you guys supporting me. So what I want to do is all the doors that I've opened, I want to bring those doors to you, to our builders, to our admins out there, to our builders. I want to do everything I can to bring these guys to the forefront and help you guys build, because I don't want to just entertain you guys. I want to build with you guys. So let's continue that ideology, and everything else will fall into place. Junk House Dog says everything is going to come down. They're going to be huge bad news as BRICS rises and the dollar falls. All prices will come down. How can it not? The world is collapsing. So, this is actually very bullish news, because if US dollar currency collapses, that means asset prices will cost a lot more dollars, wouldn't it? So, to be honest with you, that's very bullish news. So, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Catch me on OddApp. If you haven't found me on Twitter, it's MYC_odd_app, MYC OddApp. I will catch you guys on the next one.